Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, the only Idaho podcast focused on providing profits for Idaho people. If you love our state and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Idaho Business Podcast with your friend, host, and all-around great guy and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Idaho Business Podcast. Today we are with Janeale Dean, owner of Creative Group, Creative Group and marketer and creative. Yeah, sorry, got too much stuff. She's an owner and the principal consultant of this creative group. So welcome, Janeale.
Thank you.
Perfect. Before we get into Janeale a little bit more, we are sponsored by Fresh Prep Meals. These guys are currently located from, you can get their meals from Burley all the way to Idaho Falls. They're not quite up to Jerome and Twin Falls yet, Janeale, so you'll have to wait for them, for these guys. But they do fantastic work creating, wonderful catered-like meals, portioned out to what you need for your health. And they're not just, gross salads and rice and chicken all the time. They're creative meals that are delicious to eat and help you stay within your health goal, and you can push forward to reach the goals you want to reach for the new year and everything else. So give them a holler. If you go to the idahobusinesspodcast.com, click on their logo, you'll see that there is a promo code called Idaho Business. If you type that in as you subscribe with them, sign up with them, you will get your first meal for free, and you'll also get an additional, wow, if I could talk today, meal for free to give to someone, whoever you want. So there you go. Go give them a try out today, and don't delay. All right, Janeale. She was born and raised in Jerome, Idaho. Idaho, born and raised. That's what we like to see. We always love the implants. We have implants on the show all the time, but it's always nice to see some born and raised in Idaho. She went on to get her for upper education at Northwest College of Arts and Design, and then she has been in the marketing field for almost the better part of 10 years. Yeah. Being in the CMO, marketing managers, to now owning her own desert creative group. So Janeale, did I get anything wrong?
No, you even summed it up pretty well.
Perfect. So Janeale, how did you get into the business? What summoned you to marketing?
Well, my original background, so getting my Bachelor of Fine Art and Visual Communications, it was all about the psychology behind design. And so when I originally got my start, I was doing more the creative side of marketing. So providing like websites and even like app development and email campaigns and creating the digital kind of creative collateral for marketing departments. And as my career kind of transitioned and shift, I started getting more into, instead of just the psychology behind design, it was the psychology behind communicating with people in general. And it was kind of a natural shift to be able to like progress over into that side of marketing.
Very nice. Very nice. So yeah. within the Desert Creative Group, what type of services are you providing for your clientele?
Yeah, so kind of at the core of what we do is a consultative approach where we kind of take a total look at what your goals are, or maybe some problems you're trying to overcome. And then we work to find the best solutions and services to be able to kind of give you the bigger bang for your buck, as well as what's going to have the most impact with your customers. Sorry.
Flies. I'm trying to get in this cold weather.
I know. So we kind of go through and look at what's going to give people the biggest bang for their buck. And then also, so we take that consultative approach. We have a total look of what, we kind of want to do, and then we develop a game plan. So service-wise, we do anything from social media management to email campaigns to really kind of campaign building or whatever's kind of needed to be done. And then We have our 3 pillars of what we provide, which is consulting, business and marketing services, which includes creative services. So website building, animation, photography, videography, all of that kind of great stuff to go with it. And then we also do team development and training for people who want to do marketing in-house. We help either come on site and train their team, or if they don't currently have a team, we help kind of scout and develop that team internally with them and then train them to be able to do what they want.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, what's your favorite part about your business?
I say the problem solving aspect of it. Every single client's different. We don't do any cookie cutter kind of solution providing. Everything is different per client. They all have unique problems to overcome. They have unique markets that they serve and people that they're talking to. So it's really taking a look at who they're wanting to serve and then what's kind of coming on with that. And so every single client we bring in is a unique challenge for problem solving on trying to figure out exactly what's going to be the best case to move forward.
Yeah, I like that. Have you seen some hesitancy in people wanting to spend money on marketing over the last, pandemic time period?
I would say actually less so during the pandemic than before the pandemic. Business owners really understand the importance of not slowing down their marketing now.
Yes.
Before the pandemic, some people were pretty comfortable where they were at, which is amazing. So you were seeing kind of a little bit more hesitancy, but then as things slow down, they understand that they really kind of need to, like, now's the time to ramp up if you're going to keep your brand name fresh in people's minds, to keep them wanting to kind of contribute and spend money and things like that to keep it all going.
I like that. Well, it's good to hear it because, I think the inner part of us wants to think, oh, things are scaling down, or if you're one of those businesses that are having a tough time, you're thinking, oh, I just got to go in survival mode.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to look at the opportunity
Yeah.
that you have out there. I'm sure, at some period there was less people marketing during the pandemic, which means advertising costs are probably lower.
Yeah.
And there's a great opportunity cost for people out there trying to market and get their message across.
You've been seeing a big shift too with like that opportunity that you're talking about, where people are having to adapt what they're doing to make money, because maybe what they were doing with a lockdown, people can't physically come into their stores. So they've had to get really creative on the offerings that they provide, which means they need to ramp up their marketing to tell people about it. But you're not seeing a huge shift in kind of traditional media marketing buys. Because traditionally that is kind of on the higher end of price wise and things like that. So you're seeing a lot of creativity on how can, without spending a ton of money, how can we get the biggest impact on what we're doing?
Sure. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, perfect. What's one of the biggest, I sometimes say mistake, but you can call it a learning experience. We all have them. What's one of the biggest experiences you've had in your business?
I'd say the constant reminder that I need to stay flexible. Things are constantly shifting and evolving, not just with my clients, but also with our business internally. So it's always staying kind of adaptive and being able to switch gears and follow the markets as they shift and evolve. So I'd say that's probably the biggest one, is always being open to changes.
Sure. Never kind of circle yourself in a small little comfort zone, because marketing it's a fickle one sometimes. You gotta know everyone's pains and how to position them. So
yeah, absolutely.
Well, great. What's the biggest frustration that you've dealt with in your business?
I'd say the biggest frustration is just kind of like the internal operations logistics on figuring out, like scheduling and getting everything kind of going together. And you only have so many hours in the day, and it's finding that balance with the really high quality work that we set our standards to, and being able to have time for everything and everybody, but at the same time knowing that there's only so many hours in the day. So it's really trying to figure out that balance of being able to schedule things and get quick turnaround times, and having the team to be able to do it.
I like it. Well, if someone was to ask you, maybe if you were to give maybe some, a little bit of free advice here to the audience based upon your experience in marketing, what would be maybe the top 1 to 2 things that they should be doing if they're not doing already?
Yeah, so everybody's probably doing like social media and things like that, and that's great and amazing, but also not underestimating the impact that you can have being a participant in your community, like an active participant. So actually showing up to events, putting your staff out there to have FaceTime with things, and really kind of like the boots on the ground outside of the digital world. You see a lot of companies rise really quickly, even here in Idaho, like Idaho Central Credit Union. They have really kind of taken that model where they kind of almost guerrilla market themselves physically in a location when they're getting ready to expand. And they're able to set up kind of a foundation and roots really quickly and expand in an area. And they just kind of understand that importance of being an active community participant on the areas that they serve. So I'd say that's number 1. Number 2 is know who you're talking to and how to talk to them. You can post all day long on social media, but if you're not posting the right type of content, you're not going to really get a whole lot out of it. So you could be going through the motions, but it not actually like yielding any results. And I think the biggest thing is understanding, who your customer and your ideal customers are, and then also what they want to hear. What are their pain points? Is your message clear enough that they can kind of be receptive to it automatically without having to sift through all of these, kind of things that people kind of put filler into and stuff like that. And so kind of getting right to the point and how you can help them and what their pains are and how you can be their partner in overcoming it.
I like that. I like that a lot because as business owners, sometimes we think things are really cool, and we think, oh, I'm gonna post this because we're obsessed with our process and our machines and our different vehicles that do all this cool stuff. Yeah. But to the average buyer that is interested in your services, they could care less about the fanciest drill you have or whatever you have. They want to know how your services are going to make their lives easier. And how you're going to make them, just better off because of your services or your products. Absolutely. And sometimes we got to remember that.
You look at like competitors, when you have direct competitors in your area, you really have to tell them why they should do business with you, and kind of overcome that. And you do see, in like business to business services, especially tech providers, they get so hung up when they market their products on the products and like the features of the software or features of the hardware. And it's more than that. It's how, like what's your problem in your day-to-day job and how can our products help make your life easier? And shifting that kind of narrative of what you're presenting to people just even slightly can have a big impact.
I like that. I'll have a little story here about that because we in my industry, in the cleaning industry, we have many different companies in our industry use the same app to schedule their employees, to have them clock in and out, all this kind of stuff. And they were good. And then all of a sudden, as they get bigger, they start to lose their way and start developing things that we don't really care about as the buyers of this app. And they launch something else and they make an upgrade to the app. And actually the functionality of the app that we really cared about and that experience went down and then they alter this section over here, which many of us don't even care or will never use. Yeah. So not listening and keeping your ear down to the ground to hear what your audience and potential audience wants and needs is a big no-no as well. I would say. Absolutely.
And it's just so important keeping in mind that it's not about you or your business, it's about your customer and what you can provide to them. And just always keeping that in mind can help you tremendously with being able to connect with them better.
Yep. Yeah, I have a consultant and he said the first thing he has you do and it may be the same with you as well, but he'll go through our email, a website and say, hey, let's do an I, ours, and my count, that kind of stuff, or we count of all the times you reference you and us, and or especially if you mention your business in the third person type of situation, it should all be about you and how we can serve the customer in the language that we're providing with our websites and emails and stuff like that. So perfect. Well, let's move into the lightning round here. We are sponsored by Sensations. These guys are in Twin Falls, and they're also in Pocatello. And if you can take advantage of this too, since you're in Twin Falls, if you want. You go in there, you mention you heard about them on the podcast. They will give you your first tanning for free. But these guys are amazing at helping you get feeling better and looking better. They have red light therapy to cocoon wellness treatment beds, to spray tans, to normal traditional tanning beds, your mani-pedis, massages, everything you need to be able to relax during a stressful week, especially for gifts for loved ones. Sensations is the space to go. So go to them, mention that you heard about them on the podcast. You can see them at the idahobusinesspodcast.com, click on their logo or their name, and you can go forward with there. All right, Janeale, what would be your best book / software or tool that you've used recently that's kind of been your game changer?
I'd say a book that I recommend to all of my clients, especially those who are looking to grow and scale their businesses. The E-Myth Revisited. I believe it's by Michael Gerber. It's a pretty fantastic book on especially entrepreneurs or people who with kind of single member ownership for businesses, on kind of reminding yourself that you need to work on your business, not in your business, to effectively grow it. And it kind of talks about all these personas entrepreneurs bring on, like the service provider that you're the master at versus the manager versus the entrepreneur, and what the differences between those are, and how to kind of being able to balance all of those personality traits that you bring to the table for your business, and the importance of procedural, kind of standardizations throughout your organization and more. It's really, really good to just shift the mindset on how you can be a better, manager, how you can be a better business owner, and always be able to provide maximum growth for your organization. So that one's a really good book. I do recommend it to all of my clients who are looking to grow their business.
I like it. I've heard of that book, and it's on my list to read. I haven't got to it yet, so I'm excited to get to it now.
It's a great it's a great audiobook too. The author actually narrates it himself, so it's a really good audiobook too.
I like that. Love Audible.
Yep.
Perfect. What's maybe the biggest myth business owners need to know the truth about?
Oh, biggest myth. Well, I mean, here in this day and age, you hear so many people talking about digital. And that's something that I kind of have to work on re-educating people about, is it's not always about digital, or digital marketing won't give you instantaneous results. Because you see all these gurus or coaches or whatever that push will follow my plan on how I became really successful, but they don't tell you how long it took them to become successful, how many failures they had before they got there, and how much money they spent getting to where they are. And so it kind of creates this unrealistic idea of you just do what I did and you'll get the same results, and that doesn't happen. And so it's always kind of understanding digital isn't everything. Everything in marketing takes time and energy and consistency of putting it out there and building momentum up, and then writing that and keeping it growing. So it's kind of a long game process, and marketing will not change things overnight.
I agree. I totally agree with that. All right. Well, what's one question I should have asked that I did not?
I don't know.
I could have done it good today.
Business wise or not business wise?
Any question you can think of that you'd like to answer.
Oh. Maybe what's my favorite part of owning a business?
Perfect.
So my favorite part of owning a business is really the flexibility that it provides, not just flexibility of time and everything like that, but flexibility of being creative and being able to control what I want to be creative in. So, ultimately at the end of the day, projects that come in or clients that come in, or even types of projects that we want to do that we don't currently have clients for, we're able to kind of just say, we want to do a project like this and take it out and find somebody who also wants to do something like that and then bring that project in. So I guess the ability to have as much flexibility and creativity as possible is really, really nice and exciting.
I like it. It's great. Perfect. And then to the flip side of that, for sure, you got to work until the job's done. That's the thing too.
I have worked many, many late all nights and weekends and everything like that.
Perfect. I like it, Janeale. So people listening thinking, oh, Janeale definitely knows what she's talking about. My company needs some marketing needs. How do I get a hold of her to maybe sign up with you?
Yeah, so they can connect with me on LinkedIn, just my name there. Business is also on LinkedIn. You can find it just Desert Creative Group. We're on Instagram as well. Our website is www.desertcreativegroup.com, and they can kind of see an overview of all the different types of things we provide, and reach out to us. And even if something's not listed on there, basically we're always up for a challenge on figuring something new out. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you for being on the show with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And all those out there, as always, stay away from the negative Nancys. Yeah. Stay away from those people that are miserable, because the misery loves company. Yep. Go out and conquer your week. Enjoy who you are and the people you serve, and just have that attitude of gratitude. I can't say it any better than that. If you have those kind of things in place and enjoy the process, you'll have a wonderful, enjoyable life. So there you go. Janeale, thank you again. And to everyone else, until next episode, see you later.
Congratulations on spending a couple of minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Idaho business community. If you're feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.